All right, I'm about to build some drawers for my workbench over here. So I'm just gonna start on this one. Uh, what I'm using is going to be this. It's just a 4x8 plywood, and this is what is this? It was like $70 a sheet. It's a 1/2 inch plywood. I can't remember what it is right now. But anyways, so I got 2 sheets. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need, but this right here is 40 inches wide, 35 inches deep, and then I'm gonna do 2 drawers, so each drawer is going to be 6.5 inches, and I'll still have like an inch of room to like move them up and down. And I'm going to be using these 34-inch drawer slides. Got off of Amazon. I believe it was off of Amazon. But anyway, so I'm gonna get started, do some measurements, and we'll see where we end up. All right. Okay, so these drawer slides are half, man, I won't even focus on it. All right, they're a 1/2 inch. So for 2 of them, I need to subtract. Okay, so like I said, the width is 40 inches. If I'm gonna have 2 drawer slides on each side at a 1/2 inch, I need to subtract an inch. So the middle piece has to be, or the drawer itself has to be, man, I can't believe I'm swinging this. The middle drawer has to be 39 inches wide. So I'm gonna start marking this to see what the best layout is to make the whole, use as much of the board as I can. Okay, so decided it has to be 35 inches deep, but out of the back 1/2 inch wall, I'm gonna take off about 1/4 inch because this is gonna slide like in a channel, and I'll show that when I get to it. So I need to take off 1/4 from the 35, so it's gonna be from the depth. So it's gonna be 34 3/4. So I'll do that, 34 3/4. So like there, 34 3/4. So right there. And then from side to side, we decided it was going to be 39, but also on each wall, I'm going to take off 1/4 inch to slide the piece in there. So then that's going to make it 39 minus 1/4, 1/2 inch, 38.5. So from side to side, I am going to do 38.5. I'll mark it and then I'll draw the line and show it. All right, so I made the markings. What you see marked is 1 drawer. So this is gonna be the bottom piece. The bottom piece, I am doing 38.5 from side to side, and then 34 1/4 from front to back, because on the back, the other 1/4 inch will be the 1/2 inch back wall. So it'll stick out 1/4 inch past, so that'll give me a 35. So that's that. These over here are gonna be the side pieces, and the side pieces I made 35 is gonna be the full length, and then the width 6.5, which the 35.5 will go past the 1/4 inch over here, because the back one will be 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch forward. But then the front and back ones, I did them 38, because on each side I'm going to have the 1/2 inch side pieces, and then the front one I made it also 38, but instead of the 6.5 I made it 6, because it's going to sit a 1/2 inch above this one. The front one is not gonna have like the little channel to slide this into. It'll be just sitting on top of it, and then I'll screw it from the bottom. And I'll show that as we go along. So anyways, this 4x8 will make 1 complete drawer, and then I could probably cut another bottom and 2 side pieces, but I won't have enough to make, or front and back pieces, but I don't have enough to make the side pieces. But we'll see. I'll start with that, so I'm gonna start cutting that. Okay, so I propped this up on some stools that I have. I'm going to use this blade. It's a plywood blade, so it should do a clean cut. I have this long metal piece that I can clamp underneath to keep my edge straight, and from the blade to the edge is 1.5 inches for me. So I just measured 1.5 inches, marked it on both sides, clamped it, made sure that it was still 1.5 inches. So if you see it, man, probably right there would be the best. It's like dead on. So I should have a pretty clean cut all the way across. So that's what I'm gonna do with all the cuts. Clamp this piece to keep it nice and straight and go through it. I'll try and prop my phone to do so you can see how it's done. And I'm also gonna use my shop vac to try and catch as much of the dust as possible. All right, here we go. All right, that's the first cut. That was a pretty straight cut all the way across. Probably shouldn't stop as much. It's ripping a little bit off of it, but that's fine. It's gonna be covered anyways. Anyway, I'm not gonna video the rest of it. I'm just gonna do the cuts, and then I'll come back and show how I'm gonna do the channels for each one. But that's the concept of doing every single one of it. Yeah, cool. See you in a bit. Okay, so it's a big drawer. All right, the way I have it set up right now, this is going to be the front. So everything is just kind of propped up, so I'm not gonna touch it. Anyways, that's the bottom. On the inside of the sides and the back, down here, I'm gonna do a 1/4 inch channel. It's gonna be a 1/2 inch wide and a 1/4 inch. So this bottom piece can slide into the back and the sides. And then in the front, this piece will sit just right on top of it. And I'll pocket hole it through the front. And then these ones will be pocket hole to this one. So the same thing on the back ones. It'll be pocket hole from here to here. And then this one will just slide into it. And the front one right here on the bottom of the drawer, I'm gonna do screws that'll connect the front to this. So on the inside, you will see no screws or anything. It'll be just like this. But yeah, man, this is a huge drawer. I don't even have like size comparison of anything, but I mean, it's pretty much 39 or 38 inches wide by about 34 inches deep, and it's going to be about 6 inches tall deep, or 5 3/4 or something like that, after I draw the channels and slide that in there. But yeah, that's how it's going to look. And then I'm going to have to figure out how to do a nice covering for the front of it. So on each one I'll have 1, 2, and there'll be pretty much 8 drawers up here, ginormous drawers. And then here, I might do another drawer right there. That's the big one, because over here in the future I'll probably do like half drawers, because on one of the sides right here I'm going to use my router and want to put it underneath upside down, so I can have like the router stuff right there, so I can just run the pieces of wood in there. But yeah, anyways, that's the drawer so far. I am going to do some routing, and I'll show that in a little bit. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna cut the groove in here. Did a 1/2 inch from the bottom. This is gonna be a 1/2 inch wide because that's the width of the wood. I'm using a 1/2 inch bit right here, and I'm going a 1/4 inch deep because this is 1/2 inch, so only half of the width of that. And I'm gonna do this for the sides and the back. Okay, I'm just gonna wing this one. I'm not putting a line or anything. I'm just gonna try and get it straight in there. See how that goes. Okay, so I made the cut. It's not the straightest thing ever. I think it would be nice to have a edge if you want it straighter than that. But Let's see if one of these things fit. All right, so I put it in there. It fits. Obviously, it's not the most even thing ever, because on the other side, I mean, on some areas you have a bigger gap than others. Same thing on the other side. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it in there, glue it, and then I'm going to put some wood putty all around to kind of cover that. Right now I just don't have the time to, well, I guess I do have the time, I just don't want to take the time to set the edge and put it in there and do all that. So maybe I should, maybe I will. Here, I'll try it on the next one. Okay, so this time I did use the clamp. I clamped it straight, and it did do a much better, obviously, straighter line. It's still a little gap in there, but that's okay. It was much faster to do it this way too. But yeah, anyway, that line I didn't go off. This line is from something else. It is pretty straight. So that's one way you can do it. Just clamp a straight line, put the router right against it, right there, and just follow it, and it'll cut a nice straight line, as opposed to this right here, all wobbly. All right, so I made the grooves on the sides and the back, and then I already put the bottom piece on the channels on the sides. But this back panel, as I cut it, this is a little warped, so I'm having a hard time just pushing this in, because when I push this in, that one pops out. So what I'm gonna do is do the pocket holes back here and then set it in there, align this, because this is going to be like this side, it'll be flushed. So I'll pocket hole this to that. This will come together, a little pinched. And then I'll do the same thing on that side once that's done and close it together. Now the front one, this one is just going to sit inside of here like so. Here, give me a second. All right, so this front one is just gonna sit on top of this one, the bottom portion. And I'm gonna pocket hold it through the outside in here. And this is the outside facing. There's gonna be a face on it that's gonna be bigger in the front with a handle to pull it out. So that's why I'm doing the pocket holes on this side, the outside. But then I just realized when I cut it, I didn't account for this extra ½ inch of height, because down here, I cut it the same height as the back one. And this one I raised the ½ inch to here. So that's why I have that extra ½ inch on the top, which messed it up. It's all right, whatever. I think once I'm done with it, all I'm going to do is clamp a straight edge from here to the other side and use the router to just kind of cut it off. I think that'll be the easiest thing to do for me. But yeah, it's kind of weird because this one and the front one are warped quite a bit. Like they angle out quite a bit, just kind of weird. So anyway, I will finish this up. Okay, so I went ahead and it's a drawer. This is the front piece right here. So I pocket hole this side, and then on the front face on the bottom, I went ahead and put some more screws to hold this bottom part from sliding out in and out. And yeah, so that's the bottom. The back, the exact same thing, just pocket holes in the back. So now this should, ow, son of a biscuit. Wow, hit my head hard on this Leo ring. Woo! Okay, so let's see if I can prop this up. I know it's kind of far, but I'm gonna see how this one fits in there. Oh. Man, my head hurts. So now this will go in here. So, All right, so that's one of the drawers, and then there's gonna be another one just like it on the top. And then I'm gonna put a face in the front. I think what I'm gonna end up doing, so I got this Baltic birch right here, and I went ahead and I tried to do a step for like stairs. But anyways, these are the sides of the Baltic birch. So I was gonna cut a bunch of slices like this, but then put them at an angle. So run them at an angle. So this one will be this way, and then these ones will go this way, kind of like a chevron. And hopefully they'll match our door, like the chevron style with those lines. So I'll just cut them so they go at an angle, but pretty much this will be the front of the drawers once they're done. And yeah, we'll see how that looks. Okay, I went ahead and put the sliders in. So I've just mounted them in the holes where they are supposed to go. You can see the screws right there on each one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So I put the edge flush with this. So when I put the box, this is gonna go to the front, maybe an 1/8 back. That's how I'm gonna mount them. And then I'm putting these tongue groove cedar planks. They're about 1/4 inch tall, so that's how much spacing I'm gonna give on the bottom. That should be enough. And then I'm gonna I have them here, and in the back. So when I set the box, it'll be the same. And I'm gonna pull this out to the first section, and then the box will come out to about here, and then I'm gonna screw the first 2 holes back there. Let's see how that goes. All right, first drawer is in. It's a tight fit. That's what it looks like fully extended. So there's our full extension drawers. They'll open all the way, which is nice. The only thing is that when it goes here to the stop, it stops, and you actually have to give it a good push for it to go in. It's not as smooth as I thought it would be. I'm sure I have it mounted in a way where it's not, like, it opens easy. When you close it is when it has that little catch, so it's not as smooth as just like letting it go like a soft close or anything. But they're heavy duty drawer slides, so I don't know. I'll see if I can fix that later. Anyways, there's gonna be a second drawer up there. Probably work on that next weekend, and then I'll start working on the front of the drawers and see how that comes out. So if you want to see the finished product later, hit the subscribe button, and I'll post another video later. See you guys. All right, I just decided to put some stuff in there. It's all stuff that was over there, mostly screws and bolts and stuff like that, and a few other things. Eventually I'll organize all this, I guess, by categories, items and stuff, once I get all the other drawers in there. And then most of my tools, like the router, will eventually be mounted there. Heat gun, I'll probably hang it somewhere or store it, I don't know yet. But that's what the drawer looks so far. Looks like.